Okay, we have plenty of time to cover our fancy editing. So today we're going to be using the BERNINA Embroidery Software 8, and here I have my software open. And the main thing that we're going to do today is we're going to do mirror merge wreath making tools and to just break apart a design and use an element to create a whole new design. So I'm working from the BERNINA Embroidery Software Workbook, Part 1, page 25. So we will be using pages 25, 26, and 27 today. So page 25 starts with mirror merge. And the mirror merge tools can easily be found in the edit toolbox. So just a reminder about our BERNINA embroidery software. So we've got file, edit, view, all these basic tools here. But today we're going to work on our selector tool is going to be something that we're going to use. We're also going to use Polygon select, and I'll show you how that works in just a little bit. We're going to pull from the edit toolbox, and I want to show you something. Do you see here on edit how you have like a little black arrow, and when you click that you can run through some different pieces of this? I just want you to be mindful of that. Another toolbox folder that we're going to use today is mirror merge. It's its own little drawer. And so if we click on this, this is probably the most important one that we're going to use today. And when we click on that, we see that we have a bunch of different options. So there's mirror merge horizontal, mirror merge vertical, mirror merge horizontal and vertical, array, reflect. There's a lot of different ones, and we're going to play with each one of those today. And this is a great way for those of you that might really want to create different embroidery designs, but you're not quite ready to draw your own stuff. So this is just a great way to play in our software. We're also going to be using color film or stitch sequence, which is open right over here. If it's not showing up on your screen, you can just simply click like this red, yellow, and blue movie reel, and that will open that little side window up for you. All right, well, let's get started. We are going to open a design, and we have a new blank file. So by doing that, you're just going to click New Blank Design, and it will open up a design here, but I don't have any embroideries in there yet. I also am working with a BERNINA 880 Plus, so I'm using the largest hoop available for the 880 Plus, and that's the jumbo hoop. And just as a refresher, if you want to know how to select your hoop, you go over to the hoop icon, left click, pardon me, that was a right click, left click, go to the machine that you're working on, which is the BERNINA 8 series. Then from the drop-down menu, select the hoop. And like I said, I'm using the jumbo hoop with the number 26 foot. And now I'm just going to say OK, and that gives me my jumbo hoop. So now what we want to do is we want to insert an embroidery. Now, pay attention to these two buttons up here. We've got Insert Embroidery and Insert Artwork. Artwork is represented by a little daisy with little yellow petals. Artwork is represented by this little squiggle line. Now, if you don't have a good memory for icons, you can always go to File, Insert Embroidery, right down here. So File, Insert, or you can use the quick icon, which would be this one. Either one will work. So now that I am inserting my embroidery, I'm going to my BERNINA version 8 folder, and I am going to pick the Decorative Accents folder, and I want to choose NA471. I can scroll down until I find NA471, or I can even search this folder up here, NA471. And it shows up right there. So now I'm going to double click that design or single click and open. and it's going to show up right there in my hoop. So we're going to work with this one. I remember this design. It was on a collection called the Silk Road, and I actually have a quilt made with this design on it at home. All right, so now that our design is selected, we are going to do a few things to this design because we actually don't want to use this design at face value. But let's talk a little bit about why I inserted the design instead of opening the design. And quite frankly, that's just because I don't want to monkey with my existing design. I wouldn't want to accidentally write over my design, so I opened a blank design and then I inserted the artwork. So now anything that I do to this is actually either going to be saved as design 2 or something that I saved the design as. So my original design is going to be perfect and pretty, just like it was intended to be stitched out. So when this embroidery design came into the hoop, when we placed it in here by inserting the embroidery, it came in grouped. Do you see here on my color film window here, when I select the design by left clicking with my pointy arrow there, everything comes in blue. That means that it's selecting everything. So what I need to do is ungroup this design. And I can do this a couple of different ways. I can click and then go to Edit Ungroup, or I can right click. Sorry, I'm using a touchpad and it's weird. I can right click and ungroup. So now when I select a part of the design by left clicking, I'm literally just selecting a small tiny piece of the design. But that's going to be really hard to pick just a tiny bit of the design out. So I'm going to deselect that by left clicking outside of the embroidery, and I'm going to use the Polygon select tool. The Polygon select tool is this little icon here, and it basically is allowing me to click around the shape of the design, including all but one of the designs along the outside of the flower. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. So I want to delete everything but one of these little guys there. That might require that I go up here to the zoom magnifying glass, and now see how I have a right side and a left side here? I'm going to left click, and that's allowing me to zoom in. So I can see my design a little bit more clearly. Now I'm going to go back to the Polygon select, and I'm going to left click, left click, left click. I'm just left clicking all over this design, and it doesn't have to be pretty. The goal is just to grab everything that is not that top little flourish, and then once you're close, you just hit enter on your keyboard. And now I have closed the shape and I've selected that design. And I want to show you, if you want to be sure that you've selected something, do you see this button here that says Show Artistic View? We're actually looking at this design in Artistic View right now, but if I turn that off, I can see exactly what I've selected. And everything that is in fuchsia on the screen is actually something that's been selected. In this view, with the artistic view off, I can really see a lot better what I'm working with. So I'm going to leave this function engaged. Now I'm going to delete this using the keyboard command delete, which is just a key on your keyboard. I'm deleting that, and now I'm left with my little flourish. So now I want to make sure that our flourish is glued together. And see how if I just try to click on it, I've clicked just this little half a heart design? Well, I want to select the whole thing. So I can do a couple of different things. I can use my selecting arrow here and just drag a box around the design, and then you can see how the whole thing has turned fuchsia. I can do that, or I'm going to just deselect by clicking outside of the embroidery. I can use my Polygon select tool again, but remember, this one is really more for when you're trying to grab a little tiny piece out of a large area. Another thing I can do, because this is the only thing in the hoop, is I can select Control A on my keyboard. So I hold down Control, and while I'm holding down Control, I click A on the keyboard, and that selects everything that's in my hoop. Now I'm going to do that right-click trick again, where I right-click, and now instead of ungrouping, I'm going to group the design. So now when I deselect and go to select it again, in just one click, I can click this whole unit. So now we want to have some fun with this. So now that we have something selected, if you look over here to your toolbox designs on the left, you can see that we've got mirror merge, and all of our little tools are highlighted. So let's open the mirror merge toolbox and select the mirror merge horizontal. Now you can clearly see what happens immediately is I can mirror this little design, and I can mirror it so it goes on this side, or I can drag my pointer over and mirror it so it goes on the right side. And another thing is, if I move my cursor up and down, it is not changing the plane of this. So I can really get a nicely fine-tuned design just by simply using that mirror merge tool. So we want to move it where we like the configuration, and then once we like the configuration, we're going to click the left click on your mouse, and that sets the design. And then you want to make sure that the designs don't overlap. So I'm going to delete that and do this one more time. Remember, you need to select the design and go to mirror merge. If our designs overlap, it's going to look a little odd. I'm going to put it in artistic view. We don't want that overstitching like that. So that's what I'm talking about. So I like that first one. And those of you who haven't become acquainted with your undo feature, let's undo. So I undid it until I get it back to where I liked it. So remember, you can undo up to 250 times. I love that feature because I do a lot of things and then I regret my decisions. All right, so we have a mirror merge design there and ready. So now I told you to keep your color film open, so that's still open there on the side. And if you notice, there are unnecessary color changes. So what we want to do is just use a tool in our software to optimize the color changes. So we are going to go to Design, Optimize Color Changes, and it's going to reduce the numbers from 3 to 2, which is fine. And now look how our color film over here on the side changes. So it's going to stitch everything green first and then everything blue next. So it's taken it from a 3-color design to a 2-color design. So that is mirror merge. So that one was pretty easy. So now if you wanted to, you could save this design once you have everything the way that you like it. So we're going to say File, Save As, and remember, it's always good to create a folder where you can remember where you put stuff. So I have my embroidery designs, and I've got my designs and my machine files. I'm also going to create a new folder that's called My Class Samples. Oops. So make sure you click on the folder and it's highlighted in blues. There we go. And so now I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to call this Mirror Merge Horizontal. And it's okay to leave it as a .art80. That's the purest version of the file, and that's the file that you're going to compress to send to the machine. I'm actually going to shorten it to Mirror Merge H. And now we hit save. And now let's use our undo until we just get our single flourish. Easy, easy, easy. All right, so now there's going to be a lot of the same thing that we're sort of doing in this class, so hopefully this will get you more comfortable with some of these commands in the software. So I'm going to go back to my Control-A command on my keyboard, which selects my whole design. And don't forget, we also have this Show Artistic View or Not. I'm deselecting that so I can see that I have clearly selected my flourish and selected all the elements of it. So now we're going to go over to our Mirror Merge toolbox and select Mirror Merge Vertical. And now just like our horizontal, you can recognize what we've done here is this now is flipping it along the vertical axis, and I can't move it side to side. I can only move it up and down. So in this application, I'm just going to line my little points up just like so. Once I get it to exactly the way that I like it, I'm going to left click on the hoop, and that generates my stitching. And once again, you want to make sure that the designs do not overlap. Then you can also see, once again, we have a 3-color design. So let's go back up here to Design, Optimize Color Changes. It takes it from 3 to 2, and now you can see over there that color film has changed, and now it's a 2-color design. Once you have everything that you like, let's save the file. File, Save As, and it remembers the folder that I'm saving into, so now I can say Mirror Merge V for vertical and save. And now I'm going to undo, and now I'm back to my flourish. So this is very easy. Now we're getting into a situation where it gets even more fun. So I'm going to select the design, and once again, we can do it by Control-A, but it's grouped together, so we can just left-click on it. It's your choice how you want to select your design. There's a new tool down here called Mirror Merge Horizontal and Vertical. So let's select that one. And now let's look at what's happening. I can not only touch my designs here vertically, but I can touch them horizontally like I did. And now I have something that resembles a border. So now let's go ahead and just do the same thing that we've been doing, but now paying attention to what's going on when they touch horizontally and when the design touches vertically. And once I get it to where I like it, I left click to set it. And there is our Mirror Merge Horizontal and Vertical. If you are very happy with this, let's make sure it's going to stitch out in a nice pattern. So Design, Optimize Color Changes, and now it's reducing it from 7 to 2 colors. And you can see that color film changed on the right side of the screen. I also want you to notice that down here on your status bar, you have the width and the height adjustments. So we've got, this is going to be 1.88 high and just a little over 2 inches wide. If you were going for something that needed to be a specific size, you could select this design by Control-A, and you can adjust the proportions up here in your screen. If you want to keep them proportional, you click your little lock, and then we can just say, I know that I need this to be 2 inches wide, and you can see it made it a little bit larger. If you need this to be 2 inches by 2 inches, you can undo your lock and save this to 2 and hit enter, and now we've got a perfect square. If you don't know what 2 by 2 really means or so forth, there is a measurement tool that you can engage in the software. You just simply press M on the keyboard and you click to hold it exactly where you're trying to measure, and then you drag your cursor over and you can kind of measure the design that way. Let's say you needed a diagonal measurement. You could click it in the corner and go over to the end and find the diagonal measurement. So I just wanted to show you that because it's a neat little tool to know how to use. And to disengage the measuring tool, you just hit escape on your keyboard. Now, if we like this exactly the way we've stitched, we can go ahead and save it, or if we want to save it at the default size for our flourish, I'm just going to go back here to our original design before we started altering with the stitch sizes. So now I'm saying File, Save As, and this time it's going to be Mirror Merge H and V for horizontal and vertical. And then I'm going to undo to where I just have my single flourish. Next, okay, is wreath making. So if we select our design, I'm just left clicking on it, and I go down here to this little black arrow, I can see that we have a bunch of different choices here. We are going to cover these two, but we're just going to go down to wreath for now. When we select the wreath box, you get two more tools that show up here above the window of your embroidery design. And the wreath, and when that is engaged when you click on the wreath icon. And this allows us to change the number of repeats to whatever we want in the setting. So let's go ahead and pick 5. So I double clicked on that to highlight it, and then I changed it to 5, and I'm hitting enter on my keyboard. And now as I drag my cursor into my embroidery workspace, I can see my 5 little beautiful kaleidoscope type designs or wreath designs. You can move the mouse and rotate the objects until you see a combination that you like, and then once you like the combination, go ahead and left click in that area, and that sets our design. And you know what to do next. You go to Design, Optimize Color Changes. This is going to change the design from 9 colors to 2 colors. It changes over there in your color film area. And now we want to save it as File, Save As, and we're going to save this one as I'm going to call it Wreath 5. Save. Now, there's another option that you can do with the wreath maker. So let's go undo until we just have our little flourish there. We're going to select it. We're going to go to wreath. This time I want you to put an even number in there. So not 5, let's highlight that and change it to 8. And then once we hit 8, we have this mirror alternative. So what this is going to do, let's just look at what 8 looks like down here. See your little flourish, it's all going in the same direction. But if we go to the mirror alternative, it's mirroring it. It's mirroring our wreath. It needs to be an even number so that you can make little pairs. So I'm going to make something where I touch these little C's to make them look like a heart. Give me just a minute. Just trying to get them exactly the way I want. So you can see here how you can really play with the software to get things just perfect. Okay, now I like what I see. I'm going to click on the left click in the area, and then there is my design. Now, One thing that you can do is you can also at this point hit Control A on the keyboard, and you see our black bars that will enlarge and reduce this group, but that's not what I want to do. I just want to click on it so I get my white handles so I can get my little hearts kind of lined up so it's more vertical like that. So now I'm going to deselect. So that's what I did there, just to kind of get something that doesn't look like it's twisted in my hoop. And then once again, we've got a lot of different color changes over here. So we want to go to Design, Optimize Color Changes. We're going to reduce now from 15 color changes to 2. Well, that will save you a lot of time. And now we will save this as, Wreath Alternative 8. All right, so now that we have this beautiful wreath design, I don't want you to close it and I don't want you to do undo. I want to save this as its own design. So, and this is because we're going to make multiple wreaths. So you can also make a wreath of a wreath or a mirror, and you alternate by selecting the original and applying another wreath or mirror alternative. So we've selected all, now we've selected our wreath, and now we're going to change the number of wreaths to 6. So let's go down here to wreath, and let's go up here. Instead of 8, we're saying 6. And we don't need to have the mirror alternative engaged, so we can, sorry. Okay. So now we've got the 6 highlighted, and we want to move the mouse and rotate the objects until you see a combination that you like. The one thing I am going to do though is I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so we can see, because this is kind of a big design here. So I'm going to it takes a little bit of fussing around. But I'm very happy with that combination, so I'm left clicking in that area to set my design. And there's my new wreath. Now you can see that that doesn't quite fit in our hoop. So I'm going to do a Control A to select all. And now I'm going to click on it so I get my white handles. And I'm going to see if rotating this will have it fit in the hoop a little bit better. Yeah, it looks a little bit better, but I need to lean it just a little bit the other direction. There we go. Perfect. So now I can deselect. Oh, hang on a second. It sounds like I've got somebody knocking on the door. And I do. Hang on a second. It's the UPS man. Thank you. Sorry about that. Of course, we'll be editing this out later. All right, I'm back. But that gave you some time to play around a little bit with your wreath making tool. So now we want to save this one. And notice how our color film is showing up, so we don't have to do any grouping by color or any optimizing for color changes. We've clearly got all of our green that's going to stitch out and then all of the blue. So now we're going to say File, Save As, and now we're going to call this one Mirror Merge Multiple Wreaths. And I'm just going to say multiple wreaths, just to keep it simple. Computers like it when you don't have such long names when you save things. and then save. All right, so now we just want to undo about 4 times until we have the single design. Actually, I think it's going to be more undos. There we go. Let's deselect and let's zoom in just a little bit so we can see our design there. All right, so now we're going to work more with these designs over here, which are Array and Reflect. So let's select our design, our flourish. Now that we've selected the flourish, we're going to select Array. And we get our box up again here at the top. So now we're going to pay attention to what is in the rows and the column boxes. So let's make 6 rows by 4 columns. Hit enter. I forgot to hit enter over here, so we need 6, enter. There we go. That's what we're looking for. And so now in our screen, we can kind of take these and line them up however we would like. And I'm just going to click. Oh, it sounds like somebody else is here. Oh, it's Chris. All right, all is well. And Camilla. Here comes Camilla. You can't see her, but here she comes. Here, let's look at our laptop cam. There she is. Hey, Camilla. Good morning. She's been sleeping in a little late lately. And she's probably looking for some green slop food. All right, well, we are in the middle of the array, so let's go back to our project cam. All right, so we've made the array design, and I want to show it to you all in the hoop here. So I'm going to do this to hoop over here in our Zoom. So now this is a great application to use if you need to stitch a bunch of these little guys all together in the hoop. A great example is actually Chris made a vest for a Serious Black cosplay, and he used a feature like this to actually do an all-over embroidery design on the vest fabric. So that's kind of a practical application of that. So now we want to do the same thing as we did with the other wreath making tools, because you can see over here there's lots of color changes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Design, Optimize Color Changes, and now it's going to take it from 47 color changes to 2 color changes. And there we can see it's going to do all the green, then it's going to do all the blue. And then if you like what you see and you want to save it, we're going to say File, Save As. I'm saying Array. Save. And now we want to undo twice. And then we're back to our little tiny design in the middle of the hoop. All right, so there is another design or another tool that we can do to this. If we click and we go to Reflect, and this time we're going to keep the same amount of rows in the top, so 6 rows by 4 rows. But now when I come over to my screen, I want to make something that looks like beautiful borders. And now I like that configuration, so I'm clicking on my keyboard and I'm going to view this up close and personal. And so you can see here we have something that looks like a really nice border design. So what Reflect is doing is it's making the same amount of rows and columns, but this time it's mirroring It's doing the mirror merge in groups across the design. So it's forming shadow copies of the design. And now we're going to, once again, optimize the color changes. Design, optimize color changes. And once again, it's going to take it down from 47 to 2 colors. And then if you like it, let's save it. And this time I'm going to call it Reflect. Hang on, I've lost my mouse. There it is. All right. So, I hope you learned something. This is really a fun exercise, and it would be really cool if you actually stitched these out. We're not going to stitch them out for you here in the store, but play around, make something that you like, make a practical application of something that you want to make, and then see what happens. Be creative. And we would love it if you would share your creations with us. You can go to facebook.com/Bernina of Naperville and like us and share. You can also join our group, which is Bernina of Naperville Sewing Alliance, where we just share projects that we're making. There's a topic almost every day about what are you making today. And then finally, we're going to edit this video just a little bit so you don't have to see me run to the UPS guy. And when we do that, it's going to go up on YouTube. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is called Bernina of Naperville as well. And then if you want to be noted or have alerts when we add new videos, click the little bell, and then you'll get a notification every time we add new videos. So from Chris, Camilla, me, and the UPS guy, have a great day, and thank you for watching.